All right, so for this week's discussion, we've got the unconscious mind and Crane. So, pertaining to the unconscious mind, you've got two different views. To start, you've got the standard view, which states that our unconscious mind and beliefs are made up of countless different scenarios and propositions in somewhat of an organized fashion, you could kind of imagine it as. And then you've got Crane's view, which is a little bit more complex. Um, Crane claims that different scenarios or propositions, like in the standard view, are too exact or specific or situational to actually be present in our subconscious mind. He believes that the subconscious mind is something that's closer to the opposite end of the spectrum, where there's just a giant mass of information that kind of runs together and mixes together and ends up being difficult to interpret or translate, sort through as time goes on and the information kind of builds up. And so there were a couple different arguments that Crane had for his view on the unconscious mind. His view can account for both the conscious and unconscious beliefs of not only non-human animals, but also infants, as two separate supporting arguments. Even though non-human animals and infants can't technically understand language or communicate spoken language, they still have beliefs and instincts that come from this subconscious mind that can help them interact and articulate in the world effectively, at least effectively enough in in order to get through the day. And then the example that you gave in your video, good examples are babies crying at a young age or dogs barking in order to get something. So those were the first two arguments, supporting arguments he had for his view. Lastly, he also says that propositions can serve as models for our beliefs. So when a model is used to describe something, there's fidelity that gets lost between the actual thing and the model that you're using to represent. And so those are three of the big reasons that Crane believed his view to be superior to the standard view. Overall, I think, especially concerning the superiorities that Crane gave, his reasoning, we'll call it, it's hard to say that his view overall isn't superior in my eyes. As I put more thought into it and tried to understand his reasoning, I slowly came more toward his side of the aisle. At first, I liked the way the standard view sounded. I prefer the more organized side of things. And so after I did a little research and used my brain a little bit, used my conscious mind, I realized there's an unfathomable amount of information and a combination of information and thoughts and concepts in the unconscious mind. And so it makes more sense to take up with Crane more so than the standard view. Before diving into the topic, I felt, like I said, a lot more pleased by viewing it as something, the unconscious mind, as something that was more organized and grouped together, like the standard view described. But overall, I think Crane's view allows for like a more limitless scope of different possibilities and potential that's kind of also a little bit mysterious and overall intriguing. And so that is going to be my analysis of Crane and the unconscious mind. I would do a little bit of a psychological analysis, but it's pretty late. I just got home from a long drive, and so I might just cut my losses and call it a week. But thank you.